What's going on, and welcome to another episode of the Becoming a Better You podcast. It's your boy, Coach Paul, and I'm live and direct in the podcast studio out here in Richmond, California. And I'm super excited about today's episode because I'm going to be having a conversation with one of my best friends, my BFF, my man crush, Monday Miles. And, me and this guy have been friends for about 20 years now. Yes, and, yeah, a little backstory before we start talking about Miles' story. I can tell you guys a little story about Miles. During my 10 years in prison, I disassociated with every person that I knew was a negative influence and would not be beneficial to my growth when I got out. And at the same time, I made sure that I had Miles' phone number on me. The moment I got out, I immediately hit him up when I got out. He would take me to meetings. He would take me to the gym, and he would come pick me up and just spend a lot of time with me when I got out, and he helped me kind of create my foundation. And I got a lot of love for this guy right here. And I give you guys my boy Miles.
How's it going?
Tell us your life story, Miles.
All right. Oh man, I could do that forever, man. If you know Paul, I know me and you have the same familiar story. You did a double digits time on me, but I came out living a rough life, man, making bad choices. And we're in Richmond right now. And last time I was actually in the Iron Triangle was 15 years ago, almost to the day. And out here in my disease, running amok, addict, running the streets, dealing drugs, doing dope, doing stupid stuff, not caring about anything except myself and whatever my disease and my addiction. And I wouldn't have thought that those circumstances of events would lead me to being incarcerated. And like you, I eventually got arrested and put in jail and went to prison. And I was in jail and prison for 4 years. And that I didn't think that would be the path or the journey, but that's what changed my life, And you look back on hindsight, I didn't want to grow up to necessarily be like that. Everyone's got their different story. I was an athlete growing up. I had all the potential to be to play college football and at a higher level too. I don't say that lightly. I got letters from D1 schools and stuff like that. And I came from a high school that was very successful. We won NCS championships. I sat on the Raiders emblem as a captain for defense. I sat on the Warriors emblem the same year for basketball. We were the Final Four in state. One of the top teams in the state for football when we won NCS. And, you just all of a sudden my life pivoted that year, my senior year, into this disease and into this area of going from someone who cared passionately about athletes and passionate about sports and having dreams, and just this disease chipping away at what I was, my life and my dreams and my aspirations. And as I picked up drug addiction, and I didn't realize that this was going to be a journey I was going to be on in and out for the next 14 years, and till I got incarcerated, what I'm saying? At 14 years, at 33 years old, that's I was trying to straighten out my life, and I'd always fall back, and I'd try to straighten out my life and always fall back. And in that process, we met. So I don't know how things work out, but we would have never met in an interval, and we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Yeah.
And the way the universe works and the way it is, it's weird. We met in a brief interval of our disease trying to do better, and we wanted to do better, but we just weren't done yet, you know? And I'm just really grateful to be able to be here with you, really grateful for the life I get to have today, and really grateful I didn't realize the journey through addiction, through pain, through loss, through, me, I'm a straight shooter. So fatherless father, giving my son to his mom to take care of, because in my first few years of his life, I just couldn't do it, and not the life that I wanted to have, and this life that I get to have today, night and day, man. Night and day, dude. And I would have never said, hey, when you're 33 years old, bro, you're going to go to prison and it's going to change your life.
Right.
You're going to get your second strike and you're going to change your life. I would have been like, that makes no sense at all. But it did, And like you, someone that changed their life, making decisions. I took my last drink. The last thing I ever did was a drink of Pruno in Santa Rita jail, August 10th of 2010. And I just put it down, and I made a decision at that point right there that I was going to do something different in my life. I was going to change my life. And one of the first things that happened for me to change my life was realizing that if I don't take care of my health, I don't take care of who I am physically, I'm not even going to be efficiently as a father for my son when I get out of prison and do these things. And so fitness became a very passion. I learned about sit-ups. I learned about mountain climbers. I learned about burpees. I learned
Mm-hmm.
about push-ups and all these things. And running from my cell door to my bunk back and forth for an hour, low stepping. And people, this might sound crazy to you, but a lot of people don't know this about me. I was 275 pounds. I've weighed over 300 pounds at one point, and in my disease, and people don't
Mm-hmm.
understand that. I'd be like, "What?" But so I dropped 65 pounds doing water bag exercises and body weight exercises in 6 months, and I never looked back.
Can you explain to the audience, for those who have never been in prison, what a water bag is? I know what it
Yeah,
is, but
yeah.
tell us what it is, brother.
So we get some garbage bags and we fill them up with water. And we like the National Geographic magazine because it's a great handle to
Right?
tie things around. And if you ever need a demonstration, me and Paul will do a video for you later on how to make your own water bag weights with a National Geographic magazine when you don't have nothing to use. There's
New
plenty of
series coming
things.
out soon.
Right? And so I became passionate. And if it wasn't for fitness and if it wasn't for certain people introducing me to a God that I never understood, making decisions that are better for myself spiritually, as well as physically, this like component came together where I physically, like, I didn't want to go back and keep being the father I was. I didn't want to go back and keep being the son I was. I didn't want to go back and keep being the man, the friend, the person that I was anymore. I wanted to be something different and new. And the discipline of exercise, like, bar none, like, I tell people this all the time. If you want to find out what your demons are, start just going for a run.
Mm.
Start doing some burpees. Start doing something that challenges you physically. And if you have demons, they're going to start coming up. And the thing about fitness that you know and I know is there's no better way to just power through that and extinguish those, and also turn those voices and turn those demons into something else. And like, you're an advocate of it, and I know that because I get to watch your journey. And that I'm one of those people that say, smiling and suffering can coexist. And I tell people that when they're grinding hard, I'm like, you can smile while you're in the middle of the suffering, right?
Right.
It's not against the law to do that. And so I found out through discipline of exercise that this is something I wanted to do. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I mean, what's funny is I don't even know if I've ever told you this story, but when I was in there, I actually drafted up a whole thing. I showed my lawyer about everything that's being done today in the media world 15 years ago. I had a whole idea of online coaching and I think 15 years ago written up. I still have it today in pencil.
Nice.
Written up about everything that you're doing, and that, like, I saw the way things were going, and I saw this wave of like, oh man, anyone can connect with anyone anywhere. I can lose weight with someone just sitting right in front of me, like me and you busting down can just be two people, 8x8 cell, 10x8, and we can just work out and lose the weight effectively. This is crazy. Like, I'm like, we could do this anywhere in the world. And you're an example of that. You're more on the online thing. I'm more on the one-on-one personal connection thing. And but I see how it works today, and it's beautiful. I had a passion for it, and it changed my life, and it changed who I was. And I got out, and I was given when I got out, I was given the opportunity to work at a gym, and I brought jailhouse things I learned. I started applying.
What's your favorite jailhouse thing?
Burpees?
Of course.
Why not? And burpees and all these exercises that I was able and trusted by a guy, which I'll forever be grateful for, because he let me come in and learn and just create my own workouts. And I created 2 of the workouts at his very successful gym that drove him, called the Warrior Workout. And then we created the Red Velvet Workout. When you perform better, then all of a sudden you got to do harder workouts with barbells and more weights and stuff like that, and learning more moves. But that guy gave me the opportunity, and I just kind of took off from there. And eventually, right before the pandemic, I just stepped away from any other regular job and just started stepping into the fitness. Orange Theory played a part in that. all these things were parts of where I was getting to. Started with physical exercise in jail, started with the discipline of jail, started out at Life Light Fitness in Pleasanton, and then started with Orange Theory, moved over there. And all these places just paid a pivot of relationships I developed with people, relationships we have together, and doors that opened up to allow me to learn more and grow more. And actually, you know this as much as I do, connecting with people is huge in this industry. And I have to meet people sometimes where they're at, and I've never had a better platform than in fitness, like to meet people. And you know this too, like all of a sudden I'll have a client in my garage, and this has happened, and they break down and they're crying, and the realness and the rawness and the connection you get to have through fitness and the ability. Like I get all my benefits from doing it, right? I know what the benefits are. I know what they're not. We could talk forever about that, but I'm starting to realize like this is the one life to live, and like connecting with people and motivating people and meeting people where they're at is a huge thing. And that a body moving is a body grooving is something I say a lot. And I tell people that, man, because if you're moving, you're grooving. If you're not, you're not. You know what I'm saying? Just get out and move. Just do something. I tell people, it didn't start. I was a high school athlete, all area athlete, basketball, football, and I was having to do 10 push-ups off my knees, 10 sets, and that's how I started my first day of working out.
Yeah.
At 10 off my knees. A guy who could bench press 400 pounds when he was 19 years old. And then all of a sudden, through disease, I'm friggin' trying to do push-ups. And I tell them, how'd you do it? I'm all, you know what the next day I did? 101 reps. Yep. You know what the day after that I did? 102 reps. And this slow progression of and you know what I did? I just ran back and forth from my bunk to my cell. It wasn't breakneck. It was just slow stepping. I just kept moving and started finding this. And this momentum is like, I have to remember that not all people are where I'm at or where you're at. And like, we've been doing this for a while, and sometimes I can get caught up in like looking at people kind of cockeyed and be like, you should know. And I'm like, oh, I got to check that back and realize that, you know what? You're on your journey. I'm on my journey. I might be here, you might be here, but we can meet here somewhere. Maybe I need to come down here with you. And I'm realizing that. Like, I just realized with a friend recently, I never liked running with her. And she can listen to this. I love her. And I told her this, and we had this conversation. I never liked running with her because she was slow.
Why'd you run with me? I was slow too.
And she always walked up hills.
Oh.
And I don't walk up hills,
Nope.
And I'll slow jog them. I'll slow jog the heck out of them, but I'll never stop moving my legs. And she's pregnant right now, and
I knew you were talking about
my girl Lauren. I love you, Lauren.
We love you, Lauren. I was like, he's talking about Lauren for sure. You've been running with her lately too. I've seen you posting it. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And we've been hiking, and she was 18 months pregnant. We're going out. She's 18 weeks, 19 weeks pregnant. We're going out.
18 months pregnant.
She's had 5 babies already at this point. She just keeps popping them nonstop. I love you, Lauren. You know it's up.
Lauren is great people, though.
Lauren and
she's
John,
great.
Good people.
Okay, yeah.
And so she's 20 weeks pregnant, and like I put on my ruck, and I just like. And then sometimes I put on my ruck and I just hike with her.
So you get way the same as, so you put on, did you put on, like you should get one of those suits so you're pregnant too? Yeah, that would be dope, bro. Y'all should make some pregnant hiking content.
Right? We
That's
might
the
have,
content.
hey, you know what's good about that is that it's possible,
right?
Ladies. You don't have to make this. I know everyone's different. Everybody's different physiology. And my girl Lauren, she had 2 rough pregnancies. And this has been her best so far. And she decided to stay active through this one.
Yeah.
And it's changed her, and we send these hikes. And so back to what I was saying with it was that like I started hiking with her, and I said, you know what? You taught me how to slow down and enjoy the ride sometimes. Because I'm not good at that sometimes. Like I'm either all go or all no. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no gray area. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm all rest or I'm all just go 24/7. And I found out how through people like that, and people that have different fitness levels, and even people that are younger than me and stronger than me, you know what I'm saying? Learning what they can apply to my life. That I realize I have all these tools and this this fitness world, like that, you know, and I know, it connects us with people at a level that, like, if I open up my mind and I see people where they're at and I see how their experience, I can learn a lot and grow a lot.
Yeah.
And so like even today, I was doing legs before I got here. We're doing some squats. I'm following a progressive overload program right now. So I'm put on the bar and like I still have that ego. And I watch this kid who's like shorter than me, younger than me, strong, like looks like he's got some big under him, and he's just stacking on weight and just squatting like a ton of weight. And like I'm just like, right on, dude. Like there was just like I could ask that kid right there. He's probably a power lifter. I could probably ask that kid on stuff that would help me, you know? And instead of it like always being a competition in fitness. And it's like, and I gotta realize like I have that competition mind. Even with myself. Like if I'm not doing as good as I did yesterday, today, I can use that to really discourage myself. And what I find out is that the journey is the journey. And you're at a great age right now, but I'm getting older too, pushing up on 50 soon. And still
looking good for almost 50 though, I'll tell you.
Still hitting PRs, and deadlifts and squats and bench, which is amazing. And it's like, and like what I guess you could say is like I tell people like, you know, it just starts with the step, it just starts with the journey. And like I got 3 older guys now that I'm training now that are gonna be like in the morning, and like it's never too soon, but it can be too late. Guys, it can never be too soon, but it can be too late to take care of yourself. And with fitness, the journey started, it gets you there. And it doesn't matter how slow it is. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter, like push-ups off my knees, guys. 10 sets of 10 push-ups, and I had to do them off my knees. I was 33 years old. I wasn't 40. I wasn't 50. I was 33 years old, you know, and where people are in their prime of their shape. And had to start there. And this journey with fitness has been amazing to watch you and be surrounded by such amazing people doing success. And I get fired up by watching my friends. You helped me introduce me to a friend of yours, Ryan, and he brought out and opened up a gym in Livermore. And now and I was scared, like these last 6 months were real hard, like financially, like, right, getting by and starting it and establishing it. And it wasn't taking off the way I thought it would take off. And then all of a sudden this month, if I would have gave up, which it was coming to that head, but I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. But I kept hanging in there. I'm like, this is my passion. This is what I love. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be with. And this month, we had people come in from another gym, and they're joining our gym. I had more clients sign up in the last 2 to 3 weeks than I had the whole time prior. And if I would have gave up before the miracle, and you know where that comes from, the miracle would have never happened. And this is the power of this journey with fitness, man. You get to be on stage. You get go speak in front of people. Like, we get to help people in a way that no one else can, regardless if it's a million or if it's one. It always reminds me of that story of the girls walking down the beach, and there's a whole bunch of starfish on the beach.
Yeah.
And she's just taking one at a time and throwing them up, and like there's thousands of them everywhere. And the guy comes up to me and goes, "Why are you even doing it? It's not going to matter." And she picks up that starfish. She goes, "It matters to this one." And she throws it back in the ocean. She goes, "No, it matters to this one." And we can move the masses, or we can move one person. And I believe in fitness, it's a way of building confidence, esteem. I believe spiritual, mental, and physical. I believe it all ties in. Whatever your jam is, whatever you seek, and whatever you are, or whatever ties you on, that mental and that physical. With the mental health epidemic nowadays going on in our society, I'm telling you, I've suffered depressions. I'm ADHD. If I'm doing my work in fitness, those symptoms, I'm not saying they go away, but they're definitely under control, and they're manageable. Yeah, they help. Are. It's like if you want to feel good, I have to do something to make me feel good. And the thing about training, guys, is that it doesn't always feel good when you're in it, but the results and how you feel afterwards is always the magic.
Training doesn't always feel good when you're in it, but the results afterwards is where there's the magic.
Yeah.
I love that. That's fire right there. You know, I wanted to actually kind of scale back a little bit to something you were mentioning, right? So the definition of a better you is to become a little bit better than who you were yesterday. It's not about becoming the greatest human being alive within one day. It's about becoming better today than you were yesterday. Better yesterday than you were a week ago, better than you were 6 months ago, 5 years ago. And you talked about having to go in and do those push-ups and doing 100 reps one day and going in to do 101 reps the next day and then 102 reps. That is the clear definition of becoming a better you. That is the clear definition of becoming just a tiny bit better every single day, no matter what falls in line with you. Right. And something I talk about all the time, and I want to reiterate it for the audience, for anyone's watching this, whether on Instagram, TikTok, or you're watching this on YouTube, or you're just listening to this podcast as you're driving down the street, you know, like Miles really talked about his situation with his gym right now. And this is real talk, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a parent, whether you're in the fitness, on a fitness journey. The greatest thing you can do to be successful in life is not giving up. Most people fail because they give up. Failure is a part of the journey. But if you never give up, you never fully fail, right? And,
yes,
you know,
I
just like you've been, you know, going through some tough times, you know, it's been a struggle. I just literally just bounced back from that, bro. Like literally was like the demons were deep in my head. They're like, you can't do this. Fuck everybody. Fuck this. Quit. Burn your gym down. Like, not literally, right? Because I don't need no arson charges. You know, light a couple matches on this shit, right? But the reality of it, like, you know, end of April was my mom's birthday and my dad's birthday, back to back. And both of them have passed away, right? And then Mother's Day came up mid-May, right? I was just barely pulling myself out of the little bit of depression I was in for losing my parents. And you just talked about mental health, right? And so May hits, Mother's Day hits, and I'm a little bit more depressed again. And then some things in my business weren't going the way I wanted them to go. And I'm a very strong-willed human being. I want things the way I want things. And when it comes to my business, I'm going to run it how I want to run it. And it ruffles people's feathers sometimes. And it created conflict with someone I truly care about. And it created conflict with someone that I basically pushed her away. And I'm not upset with how I did what I did because I know I'm doing what's best for me and my business, but I think it could have been handled by both parties differently, right? I could have responded a lot better. The other person could have responded a lot better, but because of it, it separated me from someone I truly care about.
Yeah.
Right? That's part of the journey.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of the journey sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? But then dealing with that little bit of depression from losing someone that I actually care about. Like, it's cool if I lose people. Like, I've had people leave my life that I was like, all right, whatever, peace, there's a door. I don't give up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if these people leave. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
But sometimes there's people in your life where, like, when you lose them, it's like, damn, like, that hurt. Like, especially if it's someone you spend a lot of time with, you've invested in physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, whatever, you know? Like, and when you lose those people and you look in hindsight, like, damn, I could have done these 5 things a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm a human being. I'm still growing. I'm still learning, but I definitely could do things better. And then I got sick. So here I don't really get sick like that, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and I got so sick, man. I was down for like 8-9 days. And even as I started to feel better, my girlfriend, my beautiful girlfriend Allison, was like, baby, you weren't just sick. You were fighting some shit. I was like, I wasn't just sick. I was like depressed.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was fighting depression, but exercise and my business and my close friends and my kids and my girlfriend, they kept me from falling deep into that depth until I got sick. And as soon as I got sick and had to lay in bed for 2 or 3 days because I was so sick, I had a temperature over 102. I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital. And all of that compiled, I was probably sick for 3 days, but I was in bed for 7 or 8 days, right? I just couldn't crawl myself out of my bed, right? And I was like, screw this, right? But there's that piece of me was like, you can't give up. Never give up. Never give up. I say it all the time, right? I have it tattooed on my hand. It says, keep going, right? And I just tell myself, keep going, right? Just like you had just mentioned about, like, you know, things were tough. And now, boom. Look at your shit, bro. You're popping off, bro. Right? Sign a bunch of clients back to back. Classes are filling up. I see you, man. I'm watching you on Instagram. Like, there's my boy right there. I see him.
Starting to happen.
You know? And the same thing happened with me, bro. Like just last week, like my energy, like I went in to coach a Saturday morning and I was just like, I'm back.
It feels good.
I'm back. And I was like, music was going. I was in everyone's face. What's up? They're like, oh shit, Coach Paul is back, right?
Yep.
And it's just been a hustle since then. We've been
Yep.
back on the grind, and like all these little pieces that I felt are missing are getting put back into place, and the things that were the mistakes I had made before have been fixed from certain areas, and like I'm just like, I'm on momentum right now. Like there's that momentum.
That's right.
And the great thing about it, Miles, right? And I know you got that momentum right now, so I want to just put this out there. And I want to put this out there for the audience as well.
Yeah.
When you go through a hard time and then you overcome that hard time and create a little bit of momentum, you can ride that wave for momentum longer than you rode the wave of the hard time. And so what that means is you might be going through a hard time for 2-3 weeks, maybe even 2 or 3 months. But if you pull yourself through and stay strong, you can ride momentum for the next 6 months to a year done the right way. And that's the most important part about it is if you refuse to let the hard times beat you down, you will catch that wave of momentum and you will find success.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So tell us more about your gym, bro, because, let me just say real quick before we talk about your gym. I would not be in the fitness industry if it wasn't for you, right? You fucking sparked this in me. Like, in prison, I thought about it, and I wrote a plan. I had a plan, right? So definitely, I had momentum coming out of prison that I was going to do this. But if it wasn't for your support and your guidance and your friendship, don't get me wrong, I ain't gonna give you all the credit. I still would have done it, but you got to get a lot of credit, bro, because like you made it a lot easier for you to make this shit happen.
Yeah.
Now you got your own gym popping out there in Livermore. All you peeps in Livermore, Pleasanton area, go holler at him. But tell us what you got going over there.
Well, we got Thunder Fitness going on in Livermore on First Street, 3575 First Street, Building C. We're in a little warehouse. We're 1,600 square feet. We will be having classes at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we will be adding a Saturday HIIT class because we know how people like to get that sweat on the weekends. We know how you like to celebrate on the Fridays and the Saturdays.
Burn it off on right. Drink on Friday, burn it on Saturday.
Right on. And we'll be adding that. And we got a bunch of people coming over, joining in our classes and our groups, 4:30, 5:30 in the afternoon. And we do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday split because just like you talked about, we are doing strength training and we're doing full body splits. We got active recovery. We're teaching, I don't care how old you are. I'm teaching you how to squat. Unless you need limitations or you have injuries, I'm teaching you how to bench press. We're teaching you how to lift weights. We're teaching you what splits are. We're teaching you about strength training. Because as we get older, the most important thing you can do, and I'm learning this later, I'm learning more and more about this, is strength training. It's something you can do forever. I can run for a long time. I might be able to run till I'm in my 70s, but I can always lift something up and move it till I'm in my 80s or my 90s. And then the stronger you are now, the easier it is later on in life. So we definitely like to empower people, no matter how old you are or how new you are, how inexperienced, or if you've fallen off and coming back, to learn how to lift weights and properly lift weights, but in a class setting with smaller groups that are focused on bettering you, like you said, like bettering you, right? And bettering you in your fitness journey and enjoying it. Because I know some people just like to come to the gym. They want results. They train for the results. Some people like to come to the gym because they like the routine. They like how it makes them feel. But like I said, we're here at Thunder Fitness in Livermore. You can DM me, message me, Miles 55 Fitness Life on Instagram. You can always look me up or hit up Paul and ask him where I'm at, and I'd be glad to show you guys the ropes. We do personal training. We got a boxing ring next door now. Trains wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai. We got a gym that you have 24/7 access to that you can lift weights anytime you want in an environment where you're not surrounded by tons of people or like worrying about jockeying for machines. We got a lot of people that just like to come in, put the music on the Bluetooth, bump their music, work out with a couple people in the gym, get on with themselves. So we offer that one-stop shop where we're trying to build a community and a family at Thunder Fitness. And shout out to Ryan for coming out and taking a chance on me, and now Tevin, Coach Tevin on the team as well too. And
I saw that.
Yeah. And we're going to take it off. We got great coaches, and we want you guys to have an awesome experience at Thunder Fitness, and we're looking forward to meeting you, looking forward to helping you on your journey. Once again, 3575 First Street, Livermore, California, Thunder Fitness. Look up Thunder Fitness Livermore. I'm connected to that page on IG as well, so you can look that up and DM me there as well. And that's where we're at, man. I can't help it. Come on in, lift something, move your body. You'll love the results. You'll love how you feel. That's how we're doing it here.
Love it, love it. And for those of you listening to the podcast, you're probably driving down the street, or you're laying in bed right now, don't worry. We're going to have all that information he just dropped in the show notes. So I'll have a link to his Instagram and to the Thunder Fitness Instagram. And, here's the crazy thing. People think this, I had someone tell me recently, they're like, why are you always promoting other coaches?
Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings is that there's no competition at the top, only collaboration. And what that means is people at the top of the food chain, they're not competing against each other because they don't need to. They are collaborating with each other because they understand that that's the growth and the ripple effect they're going to utilize to create more impact in the world, right?
Yeah, amen.
And so I say that because my goal is to help people.
Yep.
I'm authentically me on my podcast, on my Instagram, and in real life. The same person you see talking shit on Instagram is the same person you're going to see talking shit out of Better You Fitness. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to be everyone's cup of tea. In fact, it would be pretty boring if everyone liked me, okay? So my goal is to be me, but my goal is also to introduce anyone that's connected to me or involved in my social media. You might watch my Instagram because I give a lot of value, but at the same time, you're like, I would never work with Coach Paul because he's probably going to make me do burpees or tell me I'm full of shit because I make excuses. Then I'm going to connect you with someone else in the fitness industry that can help you because I still want you to get the help that you need. Now, before we end this episode, I want to talk about this shirt that I'm wearing. So this is our special edition Peace, Love, and Protein shirt. And I had this created specifically in my mom's honor. My mom used to send me cards and letters while I was in prison, and she'd sign it off peace and love. And, like I said, Miles is one of my longest standing friends. I consider him my BFF. He's the only person my girlfriend said I could cheat on her with, right? And so I want to give you this peace, love, and protein shirt, bro, that I brought for you, man.
Because, thank you. And I know your mom.
Yeah.
And I knew your mom.
Yeah.
And she's
an
amazing woman. And I love her.
So when my mom was sick and she was, I knew she wasn't going to make it, I made sure that she got me Miles's phone number, right? And she put me in contact with Miles so that when I got out, I had a direct line to someone, and she would always tell me, make sure you hit up Miles when you get out because she loved you, man.
Yeah.
She loved you and you've always been a part of. One thing about Miles, right? Miles has always been one of the realest motherfuckers I know. And I mean in addiction and recovery. Right? Because when I was 18, we lived in a recovery house together. We both got clean together. We both hit the weights together. We would mob to meetings together and kick it and go get food. And he was a real motherfucker then. And then when I was in my 20s and he was in his 30s, right? We connected in the dope game too. And we was hustling too, In fact, he was my cocaine connect for a little while. But man, he was a real motherfucker then, And I remember, we went through some stuff and some situations where I knew he had my back just like he knew I had his back. And now we're both clean. We're both sober. We're both in the fitness industry, saving people's lives, and still one of the realest motherfuckers I know. So I just appreciate you, brother. I really
you are
do.
too, brother. I love you, man. You've affected my life in such a positive way because when your friends are succeeding, that you're close to, you can succeed. When you show that there's no limits, I know that there's no limits, and we build each other up and we encourage each other. And you're one of those people that do that for me, and I hope I can do that the same thing for you. So look them up. I know I got friends in Hayward, San Leandro, and that whole area, in Castro Valley. Don't act like you don't know me. Look them up. Take an ass kicking. Come on in and experience it. Take one class with Paul at Better You Fitness. Go down to Hayward and take a class. Start the journey. Like I said, not everyone's your cup of tea, but starting your journey is more important than doing nothing and thinking about it. He might be your man. I might be your man, but start somewhere. We'll be there for you when you need us.
Absolutely. So thank you to everyone for joining us for today's episode of the Becoming a Better You podcast. As always, if you could do me a huge favor, if you found value in this episode, share it with a friend. Our mission is to impact hundreds of thousands of lives. The greatest way to do that is for you to share this podcast with someone else that needs to hear the journeys that we're talking about and the stories that we're telling. And if you really like this podcast, please give me a 5-star review so we can continue to grow this and create more impact. And as always, I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace, love, and protein.